Whoop whoop, let's go Scrafters. It is round 2 actual. We're on Port Alexander. Oh yeah, Port Alexander, funny old map. Quite large Port Alexander, look at it, look at it. It's a beast of a thing. And in the bottom right here we've got FyreHeart as our Protoss, and in the top left we've got EdJ as our Terran player. Yeah, so have a look at this map, Port Alexander. How many possible bases are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's quite a few. And it is a good sized map. So this interesting sort of out the front setup actually makes it pretty straightforward to macro up on this map. However, this setup over here provides good locations for Terrans to siege up. So if a Terran wants to push in at you, you know, siege tanks on the high ground here, once you've got this base, are going to be devastating. You've got high ground above this expand as well. And if we go over here, we've got high ground above this expand. So, yeah, so, you know, here's your opening base. Here's your natural. After the natural, you're kind of open to being pushed. And like trying to hold this base, there are 3 avenues of attack into this base. All the best. So while it's a big map, it's a map that can lead to quite a lot of back and forth action. Reasonable amount of dead space round the back here. Plenty of places where you can leave flying units, flocks of mutas, stuff like that. Medevac drops, oracles, whatever floats your boat. Plenty of space for them to escape into in these regions as well. So yeah, I'm pretty hyped to see what type of builds we're gonna get from these players. Let's get things moving. So FyreHeart has got the gateway done, has gone side core before Nexus. Okay, right, triple get side core before Nexus. So that generally means there's going to be some early pressure coming out of some description. That command center isn't centered, and I don't know, it's making me slightly queasy. This worker is carrying gas. I'm not a big fan of that. Look, that's 5 gas you don't have. So it looks like it's going to be some sort of 4-gate pressure, 5-gate pressure. Yeah, so 2 more gateways under construction. It's going to be a 5-gate, also known as a Korean 4-gate. Back in the day when Protosses did the 4-gate build, it was you get warp gate out, you get a pylon across the map, you start warping in units, 4 at a time from your 4-gate. But because Koreans are so much better than the rest of the world, they did it from 5 gates. So a Korean 4-gate is basically a 5-gate warping. Right, so he's got a couple of sentries in the mix. Can be really useful in this type of scenario. You can push up here. And in fact, if he pushes up now, I mean, look at the army supply compared to his opponent. He hasn't expanded at all. And EdJ, had you scouted, you would know that. And you'd already have a bunker, but you haven't looked at all across the map until now. And so you didn't know this was coming, and now you're dead. So what the sentries can do in this scenario, if you're unsure about what is up here, you can just drop a force field at the bottom of this ramp, and it's early enough that your opponent probably can't fly down. These Guardian shields are achieving nothing. You didn't really need them. They only work against range attacks. They don't affect melee attacks, and I think workers count as melee attacks. And in addition to that, they don't stack. So if you're inside a Guardian shield from 1 sentry, being inside a Guardian shield from the 2nd sentry doesn't add anything. So you only pop those Guardian shields 1 at a time. This siege tank is definitely putting down some hurt, and FyreHeart needs to micro this. He needs to move them off the ramp to avoid that. But as it goes, the Zealots have managed to get on top of the siege tank and kill it. So EdJ, it was a pretty reasonable build. There was nothing overly wrong with your build, but what was wrong was the lack of information that you had. You found out much too late that your opponent hadn't expanded. And that is the telltale. That's why you go across and you check the timing of the natural. You get across the map, and you look here and you go, hey man, there's no base here. Well, if they haven't built a base, what are they spending their money on? They are coming to kill me, and you ready your defenses. It was far too late into the game. I think, if I just rewind a little bit, I don't believe EdJ had done any scouting. Let's just check. Yeah, you see. So at this point, he hasn't been across the map. So this is the first scouting that's going to happen. At 4.5 minutes, this Reaper comes across the map. And this is when he finds out. And at this point, having found that out, the instant reaction should have been to get workers to... I mean, arguably, what you need to do is send something down here to find out how bad it is. And if necessary, pull everything back up here. You can fly the command center out. You can get a bunker building here and here. You can get a siege tank out as fast as is humanly possible to do so. And you can ready your defenses or build the bunkers on the low ground, depending on how much time you think you've got. Yeah, but that isn't what happened. And so it is GG.